Hi, everyone. This is Ruth Theresa with One Inspiring Woman, and I am so excited to be with you tonight. I know we are all getting ready for our winter solstice and our grand conjunction coming at us early next week. So I know that is just like driving all of us a little good crazy. So I am excited to be with you tonight and answer your questions about this. I know I normally are answering all kinds of other questions, but tonight we're answering just questions about the grand conjunction and the planet alignments. And so one of the things that I have been dealing with most of today, which has been kind of fun, is that I am dealing with a lot of people that their abilities are just amping up. So clients of mine that just come in and they're like, I just want to talk to mom or dad who's passed, or I just want to get this one tidbit of information. They're not asking for everything in the world. They're just like, I just want this information, but they're not interested or wanting to, I guess is a good way, is not wanting to kind of amp up their own abilities. And so that's kind of something different, that even the people that are not interested in are having their abilities just like totally amp up. So I just think that's kind of fun and interesting. Like I said, I have been dealing with this most of today. So if you have questions about the winter solstice, the grand conjunction, I'll be answering those questions. I'm not going to be answering any other questions tonight. It's just about those two subjects. So one of the things that has been amping up for a couple of people, and I just think it's kind of cool that way, that a lot of people have been having some of their abilities, like I said, amp up. So one of them that's happened to almost every person I know, it has been all about having these very vivid dreams come in to them. And some of them seem like odd or strange, or dreams that they normally wouldn't have. Normally you have kind of somewhat understandable dreams, like you'll have a dream that's about to happen, or things that are about to come into your life, or if you're concerned about something, that kind of amps up for everybody. But it's one of those are kind of the normal dreams. But this has been dreams that they have been unable to get an answer to, or unable to kind of like figure out, like, what is my message? Where is my message in all of this? So a couple of people that I had email me earlier today. So Megan had a dream last night. And she was watching a possum carrying a pouch of something in their mouth, and literally walked across a busy 6-lane highway and without getting hit or having anything else, and got to the other side and was all safe and sound. So that's kind of like a strange dream, something that you normally wouldn't be dealing with in that perspective of something that would be amping up like that. So the cool part about this is the message in the dream is all about things that she's been carrying all of this time. And I know Megan because she's one of my clients, so I kind of know her personally, so it's kind of fun. But at the same time, what I get is the package that she's been dealing with is what the possum was carrying in their mouth. And then when they got to the other side of the highway or freeway, they laid it down. And that is her kind of inner message to herself of, this is your message, that you've been carrying this inner disease until we get to the other side of the road, and then we're going to let this go. And that's all about healing and stepping for her into her new healed state, so that she can bring new healed energy to herself. So that's kind of like her personal message in that. But that's what I'm talking about, is like these crazy, weird dreams that people are having. So one of the other ones is Sandra, and she is a lovely grandma. And so just so you understand the backstory of this, is Sandra has just the cutest hairstyles, very fashionable, and sometimes even does like crazy colors. Even though she's a grandma, she has got like the cutest haircuts. So Sandra was dreaming that she asked her 10-year-old granddaughter to cut her hair. And at the end of the haircut, her hair was cut kind of like the Three Stooges, like Mo, almost like that bowl haircut. And so that's kind of like her message in that is all about letting go of the past. There's things in Sandra's past that she's allowed to affect her or make her feel older, because that kind of haircut is what you're talking about, is something that is like a much older haircut. So the message is letting go of the stuff that's kind of holding you back and moving you forward into something that's going to make you feel young and vibrant. So that's kind of coming in with that granddaughter energy coming in and giving her that message or giving her that haircut. So that's kind of like an interesting one. I've got one more. If y'all have any questions about your abilities that have been amping up, I also have talked to a couple of clients and they have just been crazed with this. This is kind of interesting for them that they're having their abilities amp up so quickly. That's the cool part. So, let's see. Okay. So Stacy had this one on Saturday. And she had a dream about her maternal grandmother who came to her and kind of like in a younger form, like it was her grandmother, but she looked just much younger. And that happens a lot when ghosts pass. They'll show up as they're much younger than when they passed. And she was there with her grandmother and she could hear her grandmother or feel a message that was coming on. And she asked her grandmother where her mom was. And her grandmother said, your mom is very upset and grandpa is taking care of her. And when she kind of said her mom was upset, the energy of being overwhelmed and being confused and that sort of thing, what I get from this is the way confusion has been kind of what Stacy's been going through. Even if she doesn't understand everything that's going around her, she's going to keep moving forward. She's going to keep on her task, which was finding her mom. So as she keeps on this task and keeps moving forward, the confusion will lift and she'll be able to move on and move forward in her life. So that's one of the crazy kind of cool things about this is these are deeper messages. They're not just, hey, I had a car accident, so that's an easy one to decipher. Carmen is asking, I had last night a new visitor, and we got together to move him on. Carmen deals with a lot of ghosts in her house, and then because all three, not only Carmen, but all three of her children have psychic abilities. And sometimes when they're younger, they call them in or allow them to come in, and they don't realize that I should be, not inviting this energy in. Moving on, she felt a heavy weight on her chest once she called him in the room. This was something new. So kind of what I get is kind of usually when they're dealing with like a heavy energy, what it is their energy is coming in and they're kind of like one of the kids kind of drew in this ghost to them or picked them up somehow. Is like someone who had like a hard life during life. And it's one of those, and I feel kind of more towards the end of life than necessarily at the beginning of life. The other message I get is his name is Herman, or I keep hearing Herman or Harmon energy. And that is like his voice, but I also feel like his caretaker that was taking care of him at the end of his life was not taking care of him to the best of their ability. And so he was not taken care of, kind of like the elderly abuse where they didn't take care of him or tend to his needs and that sort of thing. And so he came because he was ready to go. And then she's also saying her boys are hearing voices too. This is, like I said, this is something that is happening to a lot of people. I had a client this morning that had no desire for psychic abilities, call me and say all of a sudden she's hearing voices. She's hearing things that like normally she wouldn't hear, normally she wouldn't understand or any of that. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this is just amping up for her and these voices are coming through. So as long as you're kind of hearing the voices clearly, that's the best part of it. But sometimes when your psychic abilities start to kind of amp up on your own, what really happens is it can come in and it can almost sound like between two radio stations, or it can sound like staticky. It can sound like muffled, kind of, you'll hear something, but you're necessarily not hearing the whole message. So that's part of what's coming in, and part of the message that's dealing with this is this ability starts to amp up. And as your clairaudient, because that's the gift that we're talking about, like hearing, starts to come through, this ability will continue to amp up. And that's kind of what we're bringing in, or the energy of this grand conjunction coming in is everybody's abilities are kind of amping up at the same time. So wherever you are, kind of what level you're at, this will start coming in and becoming clearer and clearer to you, the messages. It's important to find someone who can help you with your abilities. It is important to find someone who can assist in supporting you as your abilities come up. That's the kind of the crazy part. Carmen says the energy's feeling better after they did a salt and lavender cleanse. So Carmen and her boys went through my Psychic 101, and they learned how to do a house clearing and how to clear out their own house to get rid of any unwanted ghost, any unwanted energy. So she is completely like a mom on top of things. And that's what happens to some of us, but not all of us. Carmen is, I will tell you, an exceptional mom. She is freaking amazing. So her boys have the support system. When they come in and go, hey, mom, I'm feeling something, or I heard something, she's right into action. She's not like, oh, no, it's no big deal. She's right into action of what is happening with her boys, what's happening with her children. So that's kind of the fun, cool part of this, is that when people learn how to amp up their own energy and go to classes so they can control it and have it overwhelming them, it kind of makes it a lot easier. So Iris is coming in and she's on Instagram and she's talking about she's been feeling other people's thoughts and feelings a lot lately, and that's part of that amping up of that energy, just kind of this energy that normally you would be able to kind of go through your life and not feel or not take aware of, or it's one of those. So the gift that Iris is talking about is more of a clairsensitive gift. It's one of those clairsensitives feel energy all the time, and they can feel the thoughts in the energy. Although they can't read your mind, that's not that part of that gift, but it's like they can feel the energy with your thoughts. And this happens to a lot of people. So Iris is one that loves to get other people's stories. She loves to feel how, kind of that information. Like, I want to know how you felt when this happened. If you had a car accident, how did you feel when that happened? How did you deal with the energy? How did you, and always asking those whys, those very inquisitive questions. So that's really cool that she is actually amping up, not on her own. It's the energy of the planet amping her gifts and abilities up to a whole higher level. So that's what I'm saying, is like, this kind of time frame is really cool in this instance. It's like everybody, whatever grade you were in, got amped up to a different level. So if you were in first grade in your psychic abilities, now you're in fifth grade. If you were in fifth grade to start with, now you're in high school. So that's what I'm saying, is like all of these abilities come in a very powerful way to amp up your energy. So your psychic abilities are going to just be heightened. And it's not that there will probably ever go down. Like, you can ignore them and they will like teeter off at some point and kind of like move away from you. But at the same time, with this grand conjunction coming, they're going to be heightened for a lot longer than they normally are. So that's kind of the interesting part of all of this. I often tell people to keep up with your salt tubs and kind of keeping your energy cleansed so that you can keep moving forward. Because just like Iris, picking up the thoughts and energies from other people, or Carmen, where her kids are hearing voices, that sort of thing, we don't want that energy to get attached to us, or the heavy energy that Carmen was talking about in her house. We want to make sure that they're doing their salt tubs, so they're releasing that energy. So that's kind of the cool part about all of this. I think that's, I've also heard of people having, just overwhelming anxiety. I had a client that called me the other day and was like literally in the back of her closet going, I'm just overwhelmed. And she was picking up the energy around her. She lives in an apartment, so it was kind of like everybody who lives around her, she's picking up all of that energy. And because she's never learned how to deal with that, she's just being overwhelmed. So Iris is saying, I can feel when people are thinking of me more also. So it's like, that's what you're picking up on. And usually if they're talking about you, or they're talking, or thinking about you, that sort of thing, it's like that energy is more pushed at you. So you're going to feel that as well. And pushing that energy is kind of like it's coming at you as they're talking about you. Oh, she has a nice shirt on, or oh, she did this wrong. And then Allison is on, and she's saying that she has been noticing it's easier to communicate with her fur babies. Allison has 2 fur babies, and being able to see my guardians more clearly without immediately getting scared of them. So that's what we're talking about. These abilities are just really amping up. So as this energy keeps coming on the planet, this is only going to get higher and higher. It's not going to go back down. The other thing is Carmen is talking about her vision board. So we're going to be on Saturday morning when I go live at 10 a.m. on Saturday morning. I'm going to be talking about the vision boards and kind of really going at it. So that's something that we've been kind of like directing this energy as this energy amps up on the planet, kind of like how can we take advantage of what we want to bring in. Vision boards can really direct that energy, but like I said, we're going to be talking about that on Saturday. So Saturday is all about vision boards. I'm going to bring in my vision boards that I've been working on, and bring your vision boards. We'll be talking about vision boards and kind of how to keep amping this up. We're talking about psychic abilities and how to kind of take care of yourself. Like I said, salt tubs are really good. Getting connected to someone, a psychic who can teach you how to kind of control or protect your energy is most important. It's kind of an interesting energy when it starts coming at you, because sometimes it kind of hits you from the blind side, like you didn't expect it to come, and then it just comes on and hits you. Let's see. So yeah, she's talking about calling in Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael is one of those very protective archangels. He's like, I would say he's kind of like your security guard or your cop on the other side. And so calling his energy forward when you're dealing with something that you can't handle, he can also push back that energy a little bit. Now, it's not that you can rely on him fully and completely. He can assist you. That's the best part of it. You have to be able to control some of your own abilities. If y'all have any other questions about your psychic abilities or things that have been amping up for you, we'll do that. And then I've got my angel cards. We are going to just answer some questions of people that are having this energy amp up for us. I asked several of my classes if they felt off balance and swaying, and several of them said yes. So that is one of the things that Megan has been dealing with, is being off balance or not feeling, you know, saying kind of almost like, it's not a drunken state. It's not that. It's kind of just feeling like wobbly, out of balance, you know, that sort of thing. And so that's kind of the interesting part. And really, for her, now this ability is different from your psychic abilities amping up. This is about a healing going on in her system. This is about her body literally reconnecting and making new connections that have been disconnected at some point. So this is kind of like, here the body is going through this, and amping this up makes it really, really amazing. So the other thing is, when your psychic abilities start amping up, you can call in Archangel Michael, or you can call in one of the archangels to come in and assist, but you have to let them know what you desire for them to do. It's kind of like you're the boss. You need to tell them what to do, and to help cleanse out energy, kind of help moving forward, help you kind of just take control. Yet at the same time, they're expecting you to be in control. They're expecting you to tell them what to do. It's kind of like, I'll do what you asked me to do, or I'll clear out energy that you expect me to do. So that's one of the things that's really cool about that, is allowing this energy to come forward and amp it up for yourself. That's kind of like one of those cool, interesting parts, is letting your abilities come forward. Now, there are many different types of abilities. Kind of some of the regular ones are like clairaudient, clear hearing, clairvoyant, clear seeing, and then clairsensitive is feeling. There are a couple of others that are kind of more interesting, that that are not as easy to amp up on their own. They will be amping up during this time frame. Clairauguste is where you can actually taste something. So if you were to see a show and they're cooking a cake or something like that, you could be like, oh, what they've just made doesn't taste good, or what they've made doesn't have the, you know, they didn't put too much salt in it, or they didn't put enough of this in there, whatever it is, you're going to be able to physically taste it. It's one of those. The other one is clairallegiance, and it's about smelling. You will smell things. Now, a lot of people have this, they'll have this ability of being able to smell things that aren't actually in the room. So they will be smelling things like when my grandmother comes. My grandmother was known for growing roses. So when I see her around me, I will get like a smell of like fresh grown roses or roses in bloom, not roses from, the florist. It's literally roses growing out in your yard. So other ones will come through with, people come through and they'll smell like cigarettes because they smoke cigarettes or coffee. You'll have different fragrances with different ones. That's clairallegience. And it's just one of those abilities that come up with everything else, but you really can't amplify that in any way. So that's kind of one of those cool, interesting parts. And it's as it keeps moving forward, if you don't get control of this, this is something that will amplify on its own and could get you into a lot of trouble because you're feeling and thinking things that are not you're used to. It's one of those, your body's not accustomed to that. So I'm going to pull a couple of angel cards and kind of give us some better insight. So the first one I pull forward is called surrender and release. And surrender and releasing is surrender this idea that you have to be in charge or that you have to know everything that's coming on right now. So it's one of those, this is something that is coming in very quickly. And this is all about surrendering and releasing your idea that you have to be 100% in charge of what's going on and kind of allowing this energy to kind of take over. And amplifying your own gifts. So Karma is asking, Jose is asking about the shocking feeling in his legs when he sees a visitor. So what I get is the shocking in his legs is kind of him remembering when he had this ability in a past life. So when he sees a visitor, ghostly visitor, when that starts coming in, he starts kind of going through that energy of like remembering when he had that ability in a past life. So that's kind of the really cool part. So even Jose's gifts and abilities, he was very much a clairvoyant, and I also felt like he was very much drawn to, and he may still be drawn to crystal balls. So that may be something that he is still really interested in, or has a liking to, or like, oh wow, I really love those. Some type of liking of that item. Courtney is saying, I was just talking about this with my sister about control issues yesterday. Yes, this is something that is, you can't really control your psychic abilities. Now you can kind of keep them protected and you can learn how to turn them up and down, but you really can't control them. So the next card I'm pulling is called enchantment. Enchantment is all about kind of letting that childlike energy. When we were children, our abilities were really, really, really strong. And for some reason, most people learned how to turn it off or turn it in a way that it doesn't affect them. Sometimes it happens if they came in and told mom, like, a ghost came to me and told me this, mom was like, oh my gosh. And so that child turned off that ability in some way. So that's what happens to a lot of us, but it doesn't happen to everybody. And sometimes we're just kind of like, I don't like that feeling, so I'm going to push this aside and not really take care of that part of me right now. I'm going to deal with what's right in front of me. So that's kind of like an interesting part for us. What I get, the next card is all about blessings. There are a lot of blessings in this, and this is all about receiving our own blessings. This is how we were designed. We were designed with psychic abilities in hand. We were not designed to not have them or not be aware of them. Now, granted, even in that, some people are going to have stronger abilities than others. Some people may have, usually we have one strongest ability and then the other ones are kind of like behind it. So someone could be really good at reading, but really bad at math. And it's the same way with your psychic abilities. You can be really, really good at clairsensitive, but maybe not as good as clairvoyant. And so it's one of those, the more you allow your clairsensitive side to take over, your clairvoyant side will start amping up as well. So let's pull another card and get y'all a little bit more information about this. So what they're talking about is listening. So this card is about listening to not only your own body and what's coming up, but then reach out, find someone who can help you. I will be doing a class in January, and I'll do a kickoff party in January, and we will be setting the times and the dates for that in January. But this is all about listening to your own abilities as they start to amp up, as they start to come forward, getting in the mode of, yes, I know how to deal with this, or I can look up the information. That's a really important part, so you don't feel overwhelmed with what's happening or how things are coming at you. This part, manifestation, is the next card. And this is what Carmen was talking about. If you haven't been watching all of the videos, I think this one is video number 9 in the series. I have done 9 other videos, because one of them was 8.1. So this is all about manifesting what you want. And that's about getting clear with our vision boards. Where do we want to manifest in our life? What do we want to manifest in our life? What do we want to bring forward into our life that's going to help or assist us take control of this energy, or kind of run it into where we want to go? Maybe that's your career. Maybe that's your family. Maybe it's your relations. Maybe it's something else. Like, where do you want to push that energy, and where do you want to amp it? What do you want to bring into your life? At this point, there's nothing that you can't bring into you. It's all there. It's one of those, you have to correct with it and have this really good connection to it and really good insight of what you want to bring into you. That's why vision boards are so important, is to give us a clear vision of what do we want. Part of the vision boards I think is really cool is, I am not an artist in any way, shape, or form, but the more personal you make the vision board, if you draw the people, if you draw, like for me, I have a vision board where I have all my family and we're all stick people, because that's about the best drawing I can do right there. And it has each person's name underneath it, like I was a kid. And it's all about amping up that energy and allowing this to come forward. So doing a vision board is really, really powerful. And it makes you think about, what do you really want to draw into you? Now, not that you can't go to the internet and find pictures of anything you want. That's okay. But the more personal you get with it, the quicker it's going to draw into you. And the other thing we're going to talk about on Saturday is kind of like the energy that is coming into us to amplify this energy. Does that make sense? It's kind of like, and power is the next one I pull. So this is what we've got to get clear with our power, is where do we want it to go? What do we want to draw into us? Where do we want this energy to move into for us? So getting what you want written down, getting your messages, your ideas, your abilities. What do you want your abilities to do? I mean, you can have a whole poster board on just what abilities do you want? How do you want that to come into you? How do you want that ability to come into you? How do you want to take control of it? Where do you want it to go? A lot of people will come in and do a reading with me and say, oh my gosh, I want to be a psychic just like you. And I was like, the world doesn't need another psychic like me. They may need a psychic like you. So having your gifts and abilities and how you connect with your clients is most important. It's bringing you into the picture, bringing you into what you desire in your life. That's the really cool, fun part. But we will be going in great detail on Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. We will be talking about our vision boards and how to deal with what we're going through, how to deal with issues that come up, or how we feel about things, or how we think about it. The last card I pull is about friendship. And Carmen is saying, funny that on my board I have learning more about my abilities. It is important. It is important because you're learning about you. It's kind of like, how do I learn how to be a female or a male, or how do I feel that what I want or don't want? That's the important part. So friendship is coming in. Friendship is really important, and having other people that you can lean on during this time frame, having a support system as your abilities work through. Just like Courtney was saying earlier, it's important to have, she has her sister so they can talk about their abilities with a friend, each other, and get that insight that how are we going to deal with this? How are we going to do this? That's really, really important. So the last thing I'm going to talk to you about tonight is I am going to give you a special word. That is not working for me. And our special word for tonight is power. And I will be doing Thursday Night Live. I will not be doing it on Christmas Eve. I will be doing it on New Year's Eve, though. We'll do it at 9:00. So people still have time to go play. But the special word for tonight is all about power. If you comment and like the video and spread that word, every time I see it on any of the platforms, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, I will put your name in a drawing and you could win a free 15-minute reading with me. So I thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. I'm so thankful for y'all, and I hopefully will be seeing you Saturday morning at 10:00. If not, go and look for that video on YouTube or Facebook, and it will be there for you so you can go through it. If you missed a lot of it today, go back through those platforms and go listen to it again or listen to it several times. A lot of people have done that. So I want y'all to know that this is a really powerful thing for y'all to do. And I'm so thankful that y'all were here tonight. I will see you Saturday morning. Y'all have an amazing night. Bye, guys.